Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's boardzy, and for the first time in almost 3 weeks, this is going to be a new mouse review. This time, the Zaopin Z1 Pro, which is another one of those like Chinese budget ergo bangers. But this one, I feel like it's kind of ushering in a new era. This has a unique hot swap design, which I think OEMs are like starting to just offer. So I think we're going to see a lot more of it throughout 2024. And yeah, a lot of you guys probably remember Zaopin from the Z1 Pro, which was an egg shape. And at the time, I was like, this is a great budget mouse for, I believe it was under $50. And now with the Z2, you do get a 4K dongle included at the $60 price. So it really just can't be overstated how many solid, like cheap mouse options there are at this point. But this is, I would call it more of like an asymmetrical shape than a true ergo. You look at next to something like the Lamzu Thorny, you can just tell it's a lot less like intense, less curved of a shape. So I'm not going to lie, I mean, I'll say it right now, this is not my favorite mouse shape ever. It's just a very safe, like asymmetrical design. I was trying to think of like a direct clone for it. I couldn't find anybody. I went on Elo Shapes, I looked up a few mice, but I would say just a smaller version of the Wise Owl OGM Pro is a good comparison. I know not like everybody on the planet has fucking tried a Wise Owl OGM. It's not like a super light. I did see the mouse was getting compared to the super light a little bit. People are saying it's like an asymmetrical super light, and it's like, yeah, I guess not really. There's no like rounded hump towards the back of the mouse, which I think is like the super light's most distinct feature. Yes, this does have flat sides and not just a completely aggressive shape, so I kind of get where it's coming from, but if you're expecting it to feel like a super light in hand, no. And yeah, this is obviously not going to be an EC clone, which I guess is just still like refreshing when an ergo isn't just the fucking 1 millionth EC clone. I'm not necessarily talking about you, Karis 2 Ace, but maybe I am. So yeah, I just wanted to like get a few of those comparisons out there, give you guys an idea of what the shape profile is going to be. It's like kind of similar in spirit to the NPO1 from Vaxi, but it's not like an identical profile. But these are both asymmetrical mice at like higher than traditional lightweights. But really the Z1 or C2, fuck me, does come in at 65 grams, which is by no means a brick. I've seen some people have done battery mods. You can get it below 60 grams. So yeah, this is really just going to be like, I'd say it works for relaxed claw, aggressive claw. If you have huge hands, this might feel a bit small because as you've seen compared to like some other ergos, this is a bit lower, just smaller in general, but it definitely does still have a wide, bulky feel, especially towards the back. This is not a mouse that I would recommend for fingertip grip. And for palm grip with my like 21x11 hands, it feels like it's kind of on the smaller end. I can pull it off, but I've definitely just enjoyed like some type of relaxed, like somewhat aggressive claw depending on what game I'm playing. But it's really just a shape that I'm putting up with because I have to review this mouse and the rest of the features on it are like just pretty insane. It's just not something that I really like. And I think what it comes down to, part of it is just look at how fucking flat the left side is. I've never seen another like ergo asymmetrical mouse, whatever you want to call it, even like a fucking ambi mouse that just has absolutely no curvature, like nothing for your thumb going on the left side. So yeah, obviously it will depend on your preference, and let's say you've hated the fact that all of the traditional ergo mice have like curves on the side. This could be your dream mouse, but it's something that just feels awkward. It's just not a comfortable shape for me and how I grip. I feel like I've given it more than enough time and it just hasn't clicked for me. And you know, not every mouse will. But this is still for the price. If you are just looking for that cheaper, like medium to large size mouse, this might be my top recommendation because a lot of these Chinese mice don't have like any significant size to them. It's kind of weird. But yeah, now moving on from the shape, just the quality on this did kind of catch me by surprise. People are saying like, yeah, it's 60 grams. It should feel solid. I mean, I guess, compared to a 40-gram mouse, but it's still impressive that there's like no flexing on the shell whatsoever. And yeah, there's really just no flexing, no creaking, nothing to really be concerned about whatsoever when it comes to shell integrity or just any of the buttons. Like all around, this mouse is designed very well. Like even the clicks, you can see there's like very minimal side-to-side travel. And yeah, you can see there's not really any issues with pre-travel or post-travel either. I mean, like there's a little bit of post-travel, but that's not anything that's going to impact you in game. The side buttons are tensioned incredibly well, where they're like stiff, but not stiff to activate. Like they have a stiff feeling when you click them, but they're actually light, very spammable. I haven't seen many side buttons implemented like this. When you do open up the mouse, if you want to like use the Hotswap functionality, be wary of the side button ribbon cable. That's all I'm going to say. So basically, if you unscrew these 3 screws next to the left mouse button, you can straight up just remove the original TTC gold switch and throw in whatever you want. I have these TTC pink switches that G-Wolves included with the mouse for free back in like 2020, and you can see I'm obviously struggling, but I mean, it makes it easy even for a Neanderthal like me. And then you just gotta retighten those screws. It's like you don't even have to remove them. This is crazy. And apparently all of the China mice are gonna have a design like this at some point. And then, yeah, you just get the switch functionality. Did I even turn my mouse off before I opened it up? That's generally a tip you might want to do. And then voila. I mean, and now I have a worse feeling switch. Obviously, if you do it, you can put a better feeling switch in. But yeah, it's pretty easy. I wouldn't say it's the most seamless hot swap, but it's really like, it won't take you over, let's say, 3 to 5 minutes start to finish. So if you do have a preferred switch, absolutely throw it in there, in my opinion. And yeah, it's just a really cool design. Out of the box, I would say switches are fine. It's not going to be like the firmest, sharpest feeling implementation of TTC Golds, but they're light, they're spammable, they get the job done. So really only good things to say about like the click implementation and the click latency, guys. It is not going to be high. And the reason I say that is because I think this is using the exact same implementation as Pulsar mice, because when I tried to like pair this fucking X2H FR2, whatever it's called, I couldn't because it said I had 2 dongles connected, but when I removed the Zaopin one, everything was a-okay. So this is going to be using tech that a lot of you guys are probably familiar with, and I mean $60 for a 4K implementation that's not going to be like the best of the best, but just absolutely up to par. I mean, I have no complaints with the wireless experience I had on this mouse. And yeah, simply put, I just don't feel like they cut corners on a single feature. So the fact that this is a $60 offering, it's just kind of absurd. Like, do I prefer the shape, just the in-hand feeling, the experience versus something like the Vaxi MP01? No, but like, do I feel like this is really worth double the price if you're like budget-minded? Absolutely not. So I mean, this is just like one of those mice where it's a solid option. It's not something that's going to be like my main mouse, keeping it in rotation. But I mean, I get it. The coating on it is rubberized, but it's not like rubberized to the same degree like a Vaxi coating and Endgame Gear coating. Even like Pulsar, it's just like minorly a bit more like standard matte feeling, but I would definitely consider it like in the rubberized category. I haven't had any issues with it. Sometimes like stains will show, but I mean, I have this red one, it's barely ever an issue. The coating, the surface finish, it's all a-okay. The side buttons I covered already, but they're big, they're in a nice position, they're fucking super light. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the side buttons, that implementation. Even though sometimes I do get like a pinging sound, it's kind of like only if I go for it. Yeah, you can kind of hear it when I release it. I'll do an entire sound test. It's the real button, scroll wheel, etc. The stock skates that come on the mouse don't have these holes on them on the bottom to like make the hot swap easy access, but they do provide a replacement set that do. There's really no issues with the stock skates in my opinion. This is a more controlled pad. Excuse the dog hair. My dog just went up on my desk. There was an earthquake in New York City that happened while I was recording this video, so make sure to leave a like and subscribe for tectonic plates. But yeah, I don't really know how much else there is to cover. The scroll wheel, it just feels like a generic TTC gold dustproof encoder. Maybe it doesn't have that. That's still what it feels like. There's a DPI button on the bottom of the mouse. This does have Bluetooth functionality as well, just because they can. They're like, how many more features can we fucking pack into this mouse? And yeah, this is something that I actually am going to give the seal of approval to. At first, I was thinking, you know, there are going to be a lot of Chinese mice that are like this. I don't really like the shape. But then at the end of the day, I got to review like what's in front of me, and this is a banger mouse. Like, it's absolutely in that top tier if you are looking for a cheaper mouse. I gave the original Z1 Pro the seal of approval, and that's like an egg mouse that I didn't really use a ton after the review, but I mean, I still acknowledge that these are some of the best budget mice on the market. I hope Zaopin like comes out with a more normal shape at some point. But yeah, really, if you enjoy the shape, you don't mind the slightly heavier weight, which I guess I didn't even talk about at all. I mean, 65 grams, the weight balancing solid. You can obviously get the weight a bit lighter. It does come with a 500 milliamp hour battery out of the box, and the battery life is solid. I mean, nothing to really mention there. I think I charged this once. But yeah, if you are just looking for the lightest weights, this is obviously not going to match the Lamzu Thorn. I guess not the Keras 2 Ace either. This one's coming out. Opponent Stormbreaker, X-Lite V3 sizes. This is not going to be the lightest, like, asymmetrical ergo mouse. But yeah, obviously I didn't feel like it really hindered my gameplay, my experience with this mouse too much, which is why I didn't really bring it up. And yeah, I guess after training my strength on something as heavy as the NPO1, these mice in comparison don't feel as heavy. So yeah, it's just an all right shape and weight, but every other feature is spot on. So if this seems like something that interests you, feel free to check it out. And that's about all I gotta say for this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and that's gonna be all. China continuing to innovate. Peace out.